Now let's get into players that were retained. And the first person we should touch on is Kyle Mayers. Kyle Mayers, he was retained by the Lucknow Super Giants for 50 lakhs, just about 32 or 33,000 US dollars. All right. What are your thoughts on Kyle Mayers being retained by Lucknow Super Giants?
I'm really happy for Kyle Myers. Really happy for him. But to be honest, I really think he's worth more than 50 lakhs. When he gets going, he really gets going. Plus he bowls very good. Bowling option power play. But what Kyle Myers need to work on is consistency. He fails more than what he delivers, and probably that's why he was retained so low. He basically competing with Quentin Dudnock for the opening slot with KL Rahul. So we saw last year where he reached late and Carl Myers basically held his spot for the opening position. So I don't think that will happen again. So next IPL, I have a strong feeling the South African ranking keeper will reach here early. And I have a strong feeling Kyle Myers will not be starting um, in the opening games for LSG. Probably they wait and see how well the South African keeper performs before bringing him in.
I'm glad you brought that up. Where Kyle Mayers was opening and he and KL Rahul did an excellent job together at the top of the order. However, KL Rahul actually pointed out that he will not be opening this year IPL. So he said as
Right.
captain, he's not going to be opening. So it's going to be interesting to see their opening combination, but we'll get to that in a bit. But if you look at it, last year he would have batted in 13 innings, scored
Right.
379 runs, and he was just behind Just Butler and Glenn Maxwell, and he was in the top 20 run scorers, and he was the best placed West Indian in the top 20 for most runs. So Kyle Mayers did some work in the IPL there, and
Right. Right.
if you look at that, you have to say, well, you can see why he's definitely held his spot in the West Indies squad as well, and held his
Right.
spot in the in LSG's team. Because to be right behind Just Butler and Glenn Maxwell, those are some top quality players. He even has a better strike rate than Just Butler, 144.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
one
And
thing
you have
with
a higher
Kyle
average as
Mayers,
well. You also have a higher average than just Butler. Just
28, 29, those are around
right.
about the same. So I wouldn't really.
Right.
Yeah, the +1 difference, but yeah, in terms of strike rate, definitely. So he's getting you a good start in the power play when he gets going. So
Right.
yeah, it's good that he's retained. Now, next West Indian retain, Nicholas Pooran, and look at Nicholas Pooran's retention price.
Right. Right. But he definitely deserves it. Wow. Nicky P. Look at that strike rate. Nearly 175. Average of nearly 30. Wow. But experts are saying that LSG should really let Nicky P bat at position number 3. They're saying that he can do more damage at number 3 instead of being a finisher. But looking at how LSG win games, they win games mostly on contributions from their foreign players.
Yeah, definitely. So Mayers, Decock, Stoinis, Pooran, they all played a significant part of getting LSG into the playoffs. But if you look at Pooran's impact, his strike rate sensational, as he pointed out. Average can work on that, but again, he was batting more at 6 or 7
Right,
and
right,
coming in and
right,
finishing
right.
off the
So
innings. Yeah, so if they can give him that number 3 role, as I said, that would be great. And KL Rahul said he'll be batting at 5. He's declared his position. So I don't think Pooran would bat then at 5, now that KL Rahul is batting at 5. So maybe he'll bat at 3 or 4. So let's wait and see. But we'll discuss that later on in this video,
right.
who, the batting positions and setting that up. But yeah, well done from Nicholas Pooran. But what do you think about 16 crores? That's what I really wanted to talk about. That's
Well, to be
1.04 million US dollars for a retention
um
price.
to be honest, not to be a bit biased here, but I think Nicky P is actually valued more than that. Nick, I've watched games where LSG win percentage is less than 5%, and he came in and basically took on the opponent's best bowlers and turned a embarrassing losing position to excellent winning one. Apart from his batting, he feels very well. His feeling is great. Many persons don't talk about Nicky P catching. He does not drop catches, and plus he can Ricky keep. So excellent batter, excellent Ricky keeper. Feels very well. Only thing missing, well, he can bowl some off spin, but I don't think you trust him to bowl off
No,
spin
yes,
in an
it's not in the
IPL
IPL.
competition. Not
Yeah.
in the IPL, but I really think he's more valued than 16 cores. Cores.
Exactly. And even that 62 he made, I remember it was against RCB, where I think LSG they were like 80 something for four in inside, I think 13 overs, and they were chasing like 176 or something like that, and they needed about almost 100 runs in 7 overs. And Nicky P made what 62 from 20 deliveries. That was
Right, right. Trust
sensational.
me.
So
Right, right. That's incredible.
yeah, so Nicholas Pooran definitely, as I said, he's worth the 1 million US, definitely. Now, the next man is Shimron Hetmyer, retained for 8.5 crores. Let's see how much is 8.5 crores to USD. 8.5 crores to USD. Let me just type it in Google. But while I'm looking up that, tell me, what are your thoughts on Hetmyer being retained for such a high price, 8.5 crores?
All right. So, um, Hetmyer on the international level is a different Hetmyer in the IPL. In the IPL, Rajasthan Royals, they're using primarily as a finisher, and he has flourished. We see where he has an average of nearly 40. I mean, being a finisher, averaging nearly 40 and striking over 150, that is really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. Averaging nearly 40, strike rate well above 150, and it can give
Right,
you
for a finisher.
300 runs. Yeah, so
Right,
batting
for a
at
finisher.
5'6", that's excellent. Look at that. He's
Uh,
even above Jason Roy, who's an opener, who gets to
right,
bat
right.
20 overs. So,
And
I mean,
and to also add to that, Ronaldo, he's an excellent fielder. Again, we don't speak about his feeling, but Sherman,
exactly.
yeah, even though he was not performing well with the bat for West Indies, I've seen where he brings the energy and encourages the other guys to feel better. So that's very important
Definitely.
as well.
Definitely, definitely. So, that Shimron Hetmyer for you. 8.5 crores retained by the Rajasthan Royals. And of course, the big man,
Andre,
Andre
all right.
Superman Russell. Andre
All right.
Russell is retained for 12 crores. What are your thoughts on Russell being retained
So
for 12 crores?
to be honest, Andre Russell is past his prime, right? However, he offers valuable experience and is part of the leadership group. He will take valuable wickets, excellent feeler, and he give you some explosive innings now and then. So as he's going towards the twilight of his career, I think just need to be more smart with how he operates in the bowling and batting. And I said that he has more limitations now compared to 7 years ago. So, but I'm happy for him. Where
I, I,
he
I, I disagree strongly.
okay, okay, all right,
So just to go back to 2 years ago, Andre
right,
Russell was actually KKR's leading wicket taker with 21
right,
wickets. This was in 2022, right? So in 2022, this man was a leading wicket taker, still up in his 30s. So I
right.
don't know about, and he was also right up there in their top three for most runs. So clearly
Okay,
he still has it. CPL he showed that his pace was there. He was bowling quicker than O'Shane Thomas, which is you're not expecting an Andre Russell at 35 to be bowling faster than O'Shane Thomas.
right.
So I think Andre Russell that was motivated to get back in West Indies team. He's motivated to retire with a bang. because you heard the man, he's going to be looking like a UFC fighter come the
Right,
T20
right,
World Cup. So I think a motivated Russell is dangerous. I think he can be that same impact. Well, not quite the same in terms of his batting.
right,
Um, playing those ridiculous innings, 80 of 27 or 90 of 33 balls or 60 of 16 deliveries. No, you might not see that much from Russell. He can give you a now and then 50 of 20, but more
right,
so his bowling. I think he's gonna be up there with the ball. And just to show you last year's statistics, he only got 7 wickets. His economy is always high, but what I want to point out is look at his strike rate compared to the others. Russell's strike rate is every 13 balls he's getting a wicket. He's doing
right,
better
right.
than
So
Riley. He's better than Riley Meredith, better than Mukesh Kumar, better than Thakur, better than Kagiso Rabada.
right,
So
right, right,
Russell's bowling is very underrated and it gets overlooked because he's often expensive. And he's
right.
expensive because he bowls difficult overs, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They mostly use him for the depth. They normally use it for the depth. And if the upfront bowlers don't do well in power play, they ask him to bowl 1 or 2 overs in the power play. Because he
And he
gets
bowls
movement.
like the fifth. Yeah, and he gets like the fifth or the sixth over the power play. That's the
Right.
hardest over the power play to bowl.
Yeah, he gets some serious movement, some movement with the ball. He gets some movement in the air and off the pitch. But we're here, Andre Russell, there's just a focus on his batting and not his bowling.
Yeah, we tend to
As a
forget
right.
his complete package. But he's no longer that excellent fielder. I remember he was so mobile. He was taking brilliant catches. He's just not that Andre Russell anymore. We kind of hide him in the field, mid off, mid on. He's taking good catches, but he's not as agile. What are your thoughts on his agility?
I guess injuries, as you know, he has injury concern. so so because of fear of the injury acting up, he's being more on the cautious side. I guess that is where age comes in. I mean, right. So he not so as he get older and doesn't want to deal with certain injuries anymore, he's being more reserved and the exuberance in the field. But I think the team KKR has other players who can step up with the field. So they ask him to play a different role. Possibly in feeding at mid on, mid off, he can give advice to bowlers. That is, you need persons who can give insight to bowlers to feed at those positions, close to their run up, to help with execution and planning.
All right, definitely, fair enough. But what about David Warner? Because David Warner is a bit older than Russell, and he's still feeling like he's 23. So
Right. But David Warner does a bowl. He does a bowl.
fair
So,
enough, fair
so
enough, fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah. So when it is a feeler, it's not every delivery you actually have to run after the ball. So a lot of the
Yes,
times you're
yes,
standing
yes.
there, the ball not coming to you, and you just have to think about the 4 overs he's bowling. He's
Yeah,
bowling
yeah.
at different pace. He bowling different line and length. Right. So yeah, Andre Russell uses more energy bowling, right, than that what Andre David want to use in the field.
Okay. All right, no problem, no problem. All right. Next person retained Sunil Narayan, retained by KKR as well for 6 crores. The magician. Your thoughts on Sunil Narayan being retained? He's a veteran as well, just retired from international cricket.
Well, I think Sonny Naran is valid more than six cores. Yes, I do admit that he's not taking as much wickets as before. Teams are looking just to play him out, but they just playing him out. It gives opportunities for other bowlers to take wickets. Right. So yeah,
Yeah,
that yeah.
definitely. But one
And
thing I'm concerned with, though, as he said, he's not taking as much wickets. Look at that strike rate, 26.1. That means he's not there's some games he's not gonna get a wicket because you bowl 24 overs, 24 deliveries, I mean, for your
right.
spell. And if your strike rate is worse than 24, that means there's spells that you're going wicketless. So that's not looking too good on the wicket side. But one thing that's still in his favor is his economy. below 8, and he bowls in all 3 phases. So that's
Right.
excellent again. So
And
he's
I
drying
also
up
think
runs.
why maybe his retention fee is so low. His batting is not as good as before. I remember in earlier IPL seasons, they used him as a pinch hitter in the power play, and teams figure out how to calm him down with that. Don't bowl spin to him, bowl short pace at his body, and he will struggle.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
his batting has really declined. Once they found out his weakness.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of Sunil Narine, the pinch hitter, we know the pinch hitter role was never really going to last. These
Right,
bowlers nowadays, they're very into technology. They're doing their research on how to, get batsmen dismissed. And so Narine not working on his game. He's only really working on his bowling. And then,
right.
trying to tug a few. It's not going to work for a sustained period of time. So you need a specialist to do that. But I mean, happy that Sunil Narine is still retained.